Spurgeon here with RevZilla, and in this video we're going to break down the new UCLEAR Motion Series comm systems available at RevZilla.com. So Bluetooth communicators have come a long way, and this is now going to be the top of the line from what we can expect from UCLEAR. The new Motion Series is available in two different flavors. You're going to have the Motion Infinity as well as the Motion 6. All the features between the two will be exactly the same. The only difference that you're going to have is that Motion Infinity can be paired with an infinite amount of riders. I don't have that many friends. And then the Motion 6 can be paired with 6 different riders. So if you ride with 12 or 13 people in a group and you want to have that many connection points, you would want to go with the Infinity. If you're riding with 3 or 4 people, you can get away with the Motion 6. And there is a bit of a price difference between the two. If you're looking at single units, the Motion Infinity is coming in around the $275 mark for the single unit. You bump up to around $500 for a pair. And then for the Motion 6, that's going to come in around the $215 price, bump up to around $385 for the pair. So very similar to what we're seeing from other manufacturers out there. Sena with their 30K and Cardo with their Pack Talk Bold. So really kind of playing around that same price point when you're looking at the Infinity, but you're looking at significant savings if you're going with something like the Motion 6. So very competitive from a price point standpoint. But now we need to dive into a little bit of what you're going to get. And there's a lot of just detail within these units. So what we're going to do in this video is really hit on the highlights, the things that really help the UCLEAR to stand apart from the crowd, and some of the slight improvements we'd like to see in future iterations. But I would encourage you that if you want all of the real detailed information, just give a real clear read through on the product page, because it'll list out all the features individually there for you. Now the biggest update, kicking things off, is going to be the first to market with Bluetooth 5.0. Faster processor, better connectivity, longer distance in between riders. So that is going to be a huge step forward. Now the other thing is going to be the fact that this is now utilizing DynaMESH technology. We've seen this from other manufacturers. Great integration between Bluetooth as well as mesh users. You can pair this with other riders that are not using a UCLEAR system. But the real advantage here is that you have 3/4 of a mile in between riders, and they just keep linking off of one another. And if one of those riders falls away, they simply fall out of the mix. And then when they come back in, they jump right back in. If you've ever used regular Bluetooth technology, or even some of the mesh technology from other manufacturers, one of the problems that you run into is that if they do fall out of the loop, getting them back in can sometimes be a hassle. I've struggled with this with other manufacturers in the past. One of the things that UCLEAR has really set off to do is that once you fall out of the mix with the mesh technology, you can really just easily and seamlessly ride back in. And as soon as you're back into range, you're automatically paired back up with your riding group. And this is really the benefit that we've seen from mesh technology over the past, I'd say, 2 to 3 years, as we've seen Sena and Cardo and now UCLEAR really utilizing this technology for better integration when you're riding, really just seamless in and out for riders if they do fall off. Now, some of the other features as we walk through this, gesture technology. This is the first time we've seen this. There's a little bit of a sensor right at the bottom of the unit itself, and you can now use hand gestures to turn music volume up, scroll through tracks, make a phone call, all just gesturing next to the sensor. Now, cool technology without a doubt, because especially if you have a big pair of bulky motorcycle gloves on, sometimes fiddling with that button can become unsafe. So the gestures make it really easy to get those commands to actuate the way you want to. It's a very sensitive unit. So you need to make sure that the UCLEAR unit is actually pointing up and away from your shoulders, especially if you're using this off-road where you might have some shoulder armor on there that's a bit bulky, or you might have a neck brace. If you have this position too low, it can actually read the motion that your shoulders are playing. So again, that's probably one of the things we'd like to see improved in the future, is the sensitivity, but really great feature, and again, first new to market from UCLEAR. That's where the motion in the series comes from. The other thing that I like is if you are using your fingers and you're just moving the buttons up manually, you get a really clear indication of what button you're on. You have the volume down, the volume up, as well as those controls manipulate other features on the unit, and then one large button at the front. So in addition to using motion gesture technology, in addition to actually just touching it with your fingers, you then also get U-Command. And this is if you have a smartphone connected to it and you want to say, hey Siri, or whatever you Google users say, dear Google, I love you, you can then get your phone to connect, and you can use voice command with this as well. So 3 different ways to control the unit: voice command, gesture command, and the old-fashioned way of just diddling it with your fingers on the side of your head. So if you had to make a minor nitpick, the styling is a bit dated. I would say it doesn't look as sleek as some of the new units that we've seen, but realistically, that's a minor nitpick considering all the technology that they're packing into here. The mount to the system itself is actually pretty solid from what we've seen from UCLEAR. The only, I would say worry that I would have, because I haven't used this off-road too frequently, is that if you do smash this on a tree branch, you can easily get that dislodged. It's just that small little hook on the top. So if I was using this off-road, I would probably want to go ahead and just put a piece of tape across the top of this to make sure that this doesn't get accidentally knocked off. However, for off-road riders, one of the biggest benefits that we're going to see with this system, again, first to market, is U-Safe technology. In the event of a crash, the unit can actually tell that you've crashed and will send out an alert to the helmet itself. It will ask you if you're okay. You have 60 seconds to respond. If you do not respond within 60 seconds, it actually sends out your GPS coordinates as well as a little message that you've crashed to 3 of your main contacts. So you pick the 3 people that you want to be notified in the event of a crash, and it sends out a signal to those people. Now, you cannot program 911 in as one of those contacts, but it will send out the coordination to one of those contacts, and one of those contacts can call 911 for you. And the GPS coordinates it sends out is extremely accurate. I would say within 20 to 30 feet accurate from the testing that we've done with this. Now, this is extremely beneficial off-road because in off-road situations, you're usually in remote areas. You might not be riding with somebody else. And if you do crash, which you're prone to do off-road, you might be stuck under your bike or something like that. And even if it does send you the alert and says, are you okay? You can then still notify the people in your connection book that you need to be notified. Works great for the street too. Just chances are on the street, you might not need that feature as much as you would in off-road riding. Now, a few key notes about this feature. You have to have cell phone coverage. So you have to be in an area where you have reception for your cell phone, and you have to have the UCLEAR app open while you're riding. So there is a UCLEAR app, works to integrate with the technology that you're going to have from the comm system itself, but that app needs to be open while you're riding. If you want to have that U-Safe system, click on. Either way, huge advancement forward compared to something, having to have a separate spot unit on your bike with you. This is now all integrated within the UCLEAR system. Some of the other things you'll see here is you now have the Pulse Pro 2.0 speakers. I would say that these are probably some of the best sounding speakers that are on the market today. 18 hours of battery life with a single charge, and then it is going to utilize USB-C for quick charging. About 2 to 2.5 hours will give you a full charge. The only downside with that is that you can't charge while you're riding. So if your battery life does run out, you can't run a charging cable and still use the unit at the same time, because the same plug that charges the unit is going to be the plug that you would plug into to run into the speakers as well. So just a lot of really solid improvements and advancements that we're seeing with this. One of the things that's carried over is going to be the way that the microphone works. It's their boomless technology. So if you've ever used a UCLEAR in the past, you don't run an actual mic all the way down. You have signal points, which gives you a great range of talking, so you get a really clear audio voice without having to speak directly into a microphone. Now, I will say we ran out on a motorcycle and we gave a call back to the office. Mr. Andy Greaser, who is one of our Common Tread contributors and is the main guy behind all those great stories that you read on a regular basis, we gave him a call and we're like, how do we sound? And he was like, well, you sound like you're talking to me from a helmet. It's not crystal clear like you get with some units, but I could hear everything you're saying, so there's no real concern there. It just sounds like you're riding a motorcycle, which we were. So just keep that in mind. That's about the same technology that we've seen from UCLEAR in the past. But really, what excites me about this particular unit is all the innovation that we're seeing with UCLEAR and what they're bringing to market. Again, Bluetooth 5.0, you have the new motion technology or the U-gesture technology. I don't think they call it U-gesture. I think I just made that up because they put U in front of everything. You've got U-Command as well as U-Safe. So there's a lot of great features you're getting with this, and it is coming to market at a slightly lower price point than what we're seeing from some of the competition out there. Now, at this point in time, those are the main features, right? Those are the main things you need to know about this unit, but there's a lot of nitty-gritty detail that you can check out in the product page. And also, if you click that info button, you can read other rider reviews from folks that are already out there using this technology. I've read through a bunch of them. There seems to be a lot of people that are really happy with what they're getting with this. If you're not sure as to what Bluetooth unit is right for you and your riding style, the group of people that you're riding with, you can always reach out to one of our Gear Geeks at 877-792-9455 or simply shoot an email over to cs@RevZilla.com. I want to thank you for joining us for this look at the UCLEAR Motion series of communication systems. I'm Spurge. Enjoy the ride.